Okay, folks, just going to do a wee quick toneless piece here today, just straight up a la prima. I'm not saying that I won't come along a wee bit later when it's dry and fix it up, but I just want to get something on the canvas here. So I'm going to use, I'll change my glasses. Right, my first step here is, because it's a la prima, it's going to be the fat over lean method. Now all that means is as simple as this. I'll explain it here. So I get this phthalo green, get a little bit of oxide red, and then I thin it out. I make it lean by using spirits there. Little tiny bit of that, and now I've thinned it out. And when it applies to here, it'll be a thin mixture. And then when it semi-dries, I'll be able to come along and put a fatter mixture over it, one that isn't quite so thinned out. That's all that means. Nothing complicated about it. Okay, so we'll give ourselves a bit of a establish a bit of a horizon here, across here, and establish where I wish for there to be water. Just along here. Now let's get in a bit of a tree shape here. Near enough to the top. All right. Now, and this being the horizon right along here, just get all this plastered in for now. A wee bit, I add a wee bit of darkness to the tree at the base of it here. Warm and dark. As I say, this is all quite wet. And you see me just rolling this on. This is for randomness. It helps with randomness. And I'm just putting in the reflections of that. Let me see, and I'll get a little bit of a background going on here. I have a distant green, put on a bit of phthalo, a bit of yellow, and a bit of blue in it as well. This should be a relatively quick one. Okay, so I'm going to work on the skies. I give myself a different brush here. Bit of a pinky, orangey sky. So, same again. Get some red, get some yellow. Thin it out a touch. And plaster it down. I've got something up my feet here. Right, I wanted a bit more pink than that. So, I'm going to add a little bit of white. Little bit of mineral spirits, thinning it out, and the term is thinning it out, but in order to not confuse, I'm going to say I'm going to lean it out a little bit, because sometimes the terminology can swap between one thing or another, and people can get quite confused. But you said this and you said that, and so I'm going to use the terminology, suppose interchangeably. I'll use it interchangeably. So I have this leaned out now. And then I'll be coming along in a moment with a fatter mixture. And all that means is that I haven't added as much thinning material as in the spirits there. That's all that is. Now let me see, a little bit, it's gone a little bit grey. I want a velvety blue. Yes, that's about a little bit brighter. Okay. All right, let me just continue. You see, while I'm doing this as well, folks, this is beginning to set up. It's beginning to dry because there's so much thinners in it. That's okay. Now, I want to add a bit of yellow in this. So just a cleaner brush. A bit of a thin mixture here. Yeah, put in my yellows along here. Now it has seemed to have gotten a little bit of a green mixture in it, but that's fine. Maybe just a little bit of extra white in it, just will help bring it back a touch. Let's just mix all this together. Some nice stark colors up in there. All right, so lots of white here, folks, just to knock it all back a touch. A little bit here, a little bit there. All right, now what I'm going to do here, just get myself a little bit more orange in here. Hopefully it hasn't gotten too dirty. No, that's fine. I'm just going to knock this back, soften this up a little bit. I'll use my wee trusty fan brush. Wonderfully soft, barely touching the canvas. And these create such a soft texture. Nice. Look at that, look at that now. I think I will brighten it up in certain areas soon enough, but for the time being, let's go down and put in a little bit of water here. Let's work down in there. Let me see. Is that, it's a bit too dark. Now this here one is directly just from my mind. I was sitting in the house doing my normal thing, and when I was sitting there I was looking through photos, and then I came up with this. And that's all it is. That's all that has happened. Nothing special. Just sitting looking through photos, seeing what I could come up with. And this grabbed me. This grabbed my attention. I made up a little thing on Midjourney, and made up quite a few things on Midjourney actually, and then just settled on this one. Now this is entirely from my mind, which I suppose a lot of you will be going, what mind? But you kind of get the drift, you kind of know what I mean. Hopefully you do anyway. Right. So let's just get this working in as well. Now we're moving into the area of starting to tone this up properly. Now I'm just having a wee look-see here. So a nice soft brush is what I'm after, just to create lovely soft edges. And this is an old cheap brush. I'm not even sure it has a name. Just an old brush. It has a nice soft texture to it. So I'm looking for a browny green or a greeny brown, whichever way you want to say it. It's in the distance. I'm going to be working on these hedgerows here. In the distance. Let me see now. Nice and soft. Getting those edges worked in. Now I'm going to fatten this up a little bit. Well, I'm not. Let me be more precise about what I'm saying. And there's already some spirits on the table, and I'm just going to create a thicker mixture of what's down. I'm staying away from the spirits to some degree. Little tiny bit of liquid on it, just to help it move. But I'm kind of staying away from the mineral spirits now. And I'm going to use the background that's wet to keep this nice and soft and green and this and that. Oh, a little bit a little bit paler than that for some of it. Okay, now we've got ourselves a bit of a hedgerow here going on, and let's just hit the tree with some saturated greens. Now, not fully saturated, of course, too strong, so I'm just using that red, that oxide red down to knock back this phthalo green. Let me just put this up. Yeah, that's nice. I'll come on with the highlights a wee bit later. That's fine. Okay. Getting all this in now, I'm starting to move into the darker areas. A little bit of lamp black and a little bit of heat. A little bit of that oxide red and some blue too. Some that ultramarine blue. I'll come down on here. You see how much easier it is to stick to it. Now, if that was purely wet, without using any mineral spirits, you'd be finding this quite hard for it to stick to it. But we have used the mineral spirits. Oh yeah, you just need to work all of this in. You can get some nice yellows in here, into this green here, creating these shapes. Now I'm coming up into the top area of it here, and I want it to be warm. Nice warms up in here, twisting that brush to create that randomness, and the same over here. Reloading the brush, just getting it all random. So this will help soften it up too. A little bit more, a little bit of orange in it too, or a little bit of yellow in it too, I'll say. Maybe a bit of cadmium, just to give it a bit more heat, because we're coming in around near this source of light here. All right, okay. Now that's a bit of an imposing shape there. So let's get on some warm colors here. Now, let me see. One for you, one for me. I'm not very happy with the shape of it. I'm just going to take this little bit out here, bring it down a bit. I'll put some sky in here. So I think it's a bit too imposing. Right in there. So feel free, whenever you're doing this, to come along, wipe it out. Whatever you're not too happy with, the shapes of it, just wipe it out. And I'll just refill in the shapes. Simple as that. Okay. And also, wiping it out can create lovely edges. Bear that in mind. In fact, while I'm doing this, I'll show you something in a moment or two. Let me just put this sky on here that I was talking about. Let me put this on and I'll show you something here. Just to finish the edges of this tree. Okay. I'll just soften that up again. Okay. All right. Now, this is what I'm going to do. I'll either use, if I can find a sponge, I'll use a sponge. If not, I'll just use kitchen towel. I'll use kitchen towel because I don't know where the sponge is. I'm just going to scrumple up this kitchen towel here. Now, without necessarily going into any paint here, I'm just going to use some of the paint that's on here. Just to come up here, soften these edges. You see that? See how that works in creating these. Now, you have to be a bit more careful than what I'm being, but that's okay. It's all fixable. Creates lovely edges. Just get my head out of the way here. Right, now, I still don't like the shape of the tree, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there with it. Now, hopefully you can't really hear this, because it sounds like you could really hear this on the mic. So I'm just going to re-establish some shapes here. But now I'm going to dip into what's here. So a tiny bit of just soak up some spirits here and use what's on the palette here. All right, now we're getting an edge to this tree here. Right. No matter the right, what I need. Where is my sponges? I haven't used a sponge in a long time. But I'm just trying to show you a few tricks here. If that's possible. There's one. I haven't been a while. So, just a sponge, basically. So yeah, I'm actually, that's a good idea. I'm going to create some things here with this. I'm going to get some colors on the on this palette now. Get it nice and thin, help it stick a bit. Okay, let's see. I hope this works, because as I say, I haven't used one of these in quite a long time. Let me see. There you go. Create some texture, I must say. Don't be afraid to use any tool at your disposal. Any tool at all. Don't be afraid of it at all. Now, let me just see here. I just want to knock that in a little bit here. I don't like that. That's too. Here we go. Now, I'm going to properly soften the edges of this. All right, so let's tidy that up with the brush. It's not a hard job now, so it's not. And what I'll do is I'll come into parts of it, create some light in it. And you see how that works now? Okay, so as I say, I'll come into some of it and create some light in here. Okay. Softening it up as I go along. A little bit more. Now I'm just going to let that set up for a wee tiny bit. I think that's a bit too, use another one here. Just a bit too much on it just. Okay, so I'm going to let that set up for the time being. And I think I'm going to use the same, almost the same process. Get yourself a very soft brush and just destroy the edges of these. Bring them up into the sky. And the more you work on this, the more the brush will pick up paint and you'll be able to travel with it a little bit further on each one. Okay, now. How to feel that's how to teach you. So, a bit of a darkish color here. I want to go down into the base of this. All right, so now let's just work this in. Simple, easy as. Just work it in. Soften all that edge. And now we have ourselves a nice base here. So let's take advantage of what's down. A bit too bright maybe, let me see. Just darken it a touch. And let's mess around here. Just coming down into the base of the base, as it were. Just using the edges here to create a bit of a sharper thing here and there. All right. Now, let's put in some of the landscape. A nice green for the landscape. So, let's make it a bit of a saturated, no, I don't want to make it a saturated green. I'll make it a browny green. Okay, same again, tiniest bit of spirits on, a little bit of that as well. What do you call that again? Liquid. Right, so. Now the landscape is beginning to come to life. Can you see it now? Now I'll tell you what. I'll just make this a nice browny dark color over here. But brighter still. Let me see here. Beat this along here, folks. Get yourself that texture that you're after. Down the sides here. And that should help with full grasses, just making this look like it's a bit of a grassy patch along here. And I'll do pretty much the same over here, only a bit darker on this side. Just along here. A little bit of spirits in it. Now this is an alla prima piece, folks. I think I might finish tonight, but if it's not an alla prima piece, it's going to be very close to it. Let's put it that way. Okay, so a little bit of green here. We just come out to here. You're me and I love you. Okay, this is just the darker areas of the. Just roll that on, folks. Now I'm going to come down into the blue here, and it's going to get a bit messy, for the want of a better way of putting it. So, let's get down in here now. And let's just roll this through here. And that covers it now. And if you see the way that covers it in a really random stroke way. Okay, so going to create a bit of a line across here. All right. Now let's work on the main reflection here. Just taking a little bit off wiping a little bit off that white off the brush, or that blue off the brush. Now what I'm going to do in a motor tool, I'm going to edge the edge of this. I suppose that's why you call it edging. Right, I'll do that right now actually. Too dark, too dark. Bit more, bring it up a touch more. Let me just see. I want it quite red actually, quite warm. Look at that. This gives us that embankment. Now, just to help it move a little bit, put a little bit of the birds on it, a little bit of the liquid. Now, for the effect that we're after, I'm going to be getting a dry brush and creating some grasses into them. Just a bit of a roughish dry brush, and just this here, gently just scraping that into it. See the way that works? There you go. Now coming down in this direction now. Okay. So here we are, and here we go. I'm not happy with that at all, so I'm going to just darken it up a little bit, do the same what I was doing over there. So, same again, dryish brush, because it was wetted over here, and just, you do it that way. All right, now we're going to get into the area of adding a bit of detail here and there, a bit of light and whatnot. Excuse me. Right now, I'm taking a little step back, having a little look. So I'll put out a little bit of more yellow here for myself before I make any full-on decisions. Okay, now, oopsie daisy. Almost dropped my brush again. Now there's light shining down here, so I want to just lighten this a touch. Now when I say a touch, I mean a good bit brighter than what I just attempted there. There we go. There we go. It's a bit better now. Now we can try our best to keep a lot of that texture. And we'll soften it a little bit, but we'll keep it as well. So now let's work on brightening these grasses here. And it needs to be better than that. So, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but I am not adding too much liquid. I'm not adding too much mineral spirits, which means I'm now putting on a fatter mixture on the top of what I have here. So I'm working with a fatter mixture than I previously started off with. So I started off with a thin mixture, in other words, a lean mixture, and then now I've moved into a fatter mixture, and that helps it stick on top of it. Okay, so just creating some highlights here, folks. Not much, you can barely see the difference there. But I will create the texture of grasses using a fan brush. There we go. There's the texture of grasses that have just popped up. Right, so I'm just going to remove a little bit of light here for myself. Put down a little bit in here, and maybe in here. No, okay, I'll just leave that as is, yeah. That's all right. Okay. And I want to put in, if I can find my brush, here we go. All right, let's just put in some more background here, backlight in here. Let's fill this in. Okay. Actually, I'll use a thinner mixture here because I do want to go over that in a second or two. All right, that'll do now. Now I have a bit of a conundrum here. I think I am going to put in a sun. I'm going to put a bit of a sun in here. But before I do, I want to just cut this down a bit. I do. I think it's a bit too overpowering here. All right. Yes, washing this brush off a little bit. Not washing it off, just cleaning it off in a bit of kitchen roll. Okay, I just wanted to create that little dent in that. I don't know why, I just felt that it needed something. Right, so let me just work on softening some of these areas up here. Now, I don't want too much in here. I don't want to really be, there we go, that's a bit better. Just bringing that down. I'm not happy with this area quite just yet, so let's make myself happy with it then. Yeah, well, just bring it down a touch. And let's create that grass effect again. Down here. There we go. Getting happier with it. I'm not sure if I'm quite there yet, but I'm happier with it. Okay, so let's create let's get some in here done. I just want to create this here. Lots of little dips and flicks, and I've put in too much brightness in it, so it did. But that's fine, I'll just cover it. Okay, so let's do this. Where's my extended point? Here we go. Oh, I think I'm going to get myself to get a new one of these. This is all but dying, this one. Okay. Right. Just bring this up in here. Bit darker. Going to have a bit of a silhouette here. Yeah, not over the moon with it, I must say. But I actually think it's not that bad either, you know, for a quick piece. But I like to make sure that even for a quick piece, I want to do a pretty decent job, you know. I don't want to be just going, oh well, that's it, you know. I don't like that attitude for myself. Right, I'm going to put this sun in. I didn't change my mind. I haven't made the decision. There's a better way to put it. So the sun will go here, right there. Look at that now. Okay, and obviously now you'll need just around about here. There we go. Okay, so let's get it painted in. And it's just a white yellow, basically. Yes, that's all but disappearing. You see that? Now a little bit more yellow, I think. Just a touch more yellow in the center, in it here. And just, I don't want it to disappear. I don't want it to completely disappear. I want it to be barely noticeable. I still want you to see it. Let me see, can you see that? Yes, you can absolutely see that. So I just want to bring this down into here. Actually, you know what I want to do? I want to brighten this whole area up here. Okay. What do you see? No, that's just, yeah, okay. All right. I'll get my trusty pointed brush here and I'm cleaning it off. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to use, spread this out a little bit. Look, I'm just spreading it out here. Okay. Just damaging the edge of it, as it were, just so it opens up a little bit. Let me see, I'll put that in a brighter area. There, you can see that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is use the existing paint that's down here and just spread that out a touch into that sun. See that now? Now what I don't like is this area here, so I will take that back a touch. Just here. Not that keen on that. Let's just get rid of it then. There we go. Now I'm going to put in a few trees here, just to, and they're going to be somewhat silhouetted. Nice and warm too, because they're directly in front of the sun. Okay, now I'm not happy with this area here, so let's get this area fixed. I'm just getting this in here. That's a bit better. That's a bit better indeed. Yes. That is better indeed. Now let me just mess around with the edges of the distant trees here again. You just play with this a touch. There's still a little bit of paint from over here. Still a little bit of paint on this brush. And just create some spraggledy, higgledy-piggledy edges. Soften this edge up a touch. Okay. Now I think what's required. I actually think what I would do now if this wasn't going to be alla prima. What I would do now is let that dry and then come along and reshape everything, and and I think I might do that. I decided a while ago that I was going to stop doing alla prima just because I just didn't want to do it anymore. And I think that that's what I'm going to do. I want to listen to myself. And yeah, okay, it'll still be a quick painting though. And I'll see you all when this is dried in a day or two, and that will allow me to refine it somewhat. I'll see you all soon enough. Bye for now. Right, folks, back to this one. I can't remember the last time I was here. I don't know, it was a while ago since I worked on this one, a few weeks at least. So, let's get tore into it. Now, I'm going to start by working on the sky here, just lightening a little bit in certain areas. Okay, so let me see myself. Just begin. So nice pinkish up here. And this is completely dry. Right, so is everything going? Everything ready? It is. Right. I'll get myself some liquid in here. I'm after a pinkish sky, pinkish orangey, yellowish sky. Okay. Just. That's a bit. That's okay. All right. Just maybe a bit brighter, maybe a touch brighter here, a bit more yellow in it. Okay. This is a scumbling and glazing day. It's my favorite part these days of painting. Definitely. You can really see it whenever you're in it at this level. You can really see it coming together. You just blend all that together here. All right, now you get a bit of a yellowish tone going on just over here. Let me see. What do I think of that? Hey, what do I think? I think it's okay. Maybe a bit more yellow, bit of a deeper yellow up in here because there's a good yellow here, and just trying to leave behind some of what's already there, so it's not to just completely go over that background paint and that underpainting. Just work it in. Look at that. All right, just leaving things behind. Okay. Just lightening this up a little bit. Just a little bit. Now I want to come up into the sky a bit more here. That's all right. There we go. Now, let me see where we are. Okay, I'm gonna work on these background trees here. So let me just see. Now, that's far too dark. Of course it is. Right. So, but I want it grayish as well. It is in the distance, so I don't want it too. Although I want it bright, I don't want it too saturated. So I'm just using a little bit of cerulean blue to grey it out a touch. It'll still have its heat. It'll still hold its heat, but I'll be able to grey it out a wee bit. Okay, just messing around with the tops of these and letting it break off into the dry painting here. It can give a really nice effect. So I'll just do another one over here, but slightly grayer. Use a little bit of black this time. Yeah, coming up in here. Graying this area out. Scumbling this in to create nice soft edges. Alright, now I want to create some softer edges in the tree here. Oh, let's do that then. Enough of you talking. Right, so let me just come in here. I'm just going to try and reshape this tree a little bit. I think I need a different brush. Yes, I do. I need a different brush. With a bit of a different color on it. This helps create nice soft edges to this tree here. Of course, I'll be coming along and fixing it up a little bit more. So let me see. Let's get some yellows in along here. Yeah, a bit too bright. Just a bit too bright. A little bit more red in it. Help warm it up a touch. It's a bit better. Okay. Now, let's put in the darker parts of this tree. And I will use a different brush to do such a thing. So a little bit of a green tint to it here. Just going to use some ultramarine blue to achieve that green-ish. A little bit of yellow, a little bit of ultramarine. Okay, and then a little bit of red just to knock that green back a touch. And let's come up to here and let's just finish these edges here. Just wiping a little bit off the brush there. And creating the highlights coming out of this tree as well with the same highlight that's coming up into the sky here. Softening that edge. You see the way that's working there? And another little highlight here. Maybe make it a bit more apparent, a little tiny bit brighter than what we have there. Just a bit, and not too much of it as well, folks. I just want to have the odd, and that's a bit, too much on my fingy. Okay, just wipe that off. Now, that was a bit too bright for me. So just a little bit here, a little bit here. Now, let me see. Okay. Look at how nice and soft that edge is. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a nice big sunset here. Nice big sun, just right there. A nice yellow one, yellowy white. And now, I might have to hit the pause button here to find where my little round thing is to do such a thing. Oh, or I've got it here. It's just a hose, one of those hose connectors. That's all that is. Let me see if that's big enough. And it's this part of it here, then I think it will be big enough. We'll see. So, get ourselves some white. And there's already a little bit of yellow on this brush. Let us see. Yep, promised myself I'm going to stop leaving my brushes along here. So, alright. Now, this is just a guide for me, so it is. That's all. Alright. Now, am I happy with that? It's not so bad. It's not so bad. It's just a guide for me. And now, let's fill it in. Fill this guide in. Let's see here. Now you can, as you can't see the trees through this, but I will be going over this sun. I'm not going to mess around with it too much. I will be going over it with the existing trees here, so you won't see it too much. Now I'm going to slightly, just ever so slightly, knock it back a bit, knock the edges back a touch. Just barely noticeable. I just kind of want them fading in there. Right, okay. So I might as well take advantage of that now, and while it's in my head. And now where's my little brush? Yeah, this will do here. So a nice orangey, dark orange, nice dark red here. Just to go through this. That's let me see. Just playing around here, just till I'm relatively happy with what I've got. And then I will refill this in here. Now it has that orangey silhouette. Okay, and I think I'll brighten it up a little bit more. Actually, do you know that? I think I'll brighten it and I'll yellow it up a touch as well. Okay, so just going in between. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Now, of course, I'm going to break into it with the tree here, just into here a little bit. Just breaking the edge of that sun. There we go. Now, let me see. Now, right. So let me get a nice green, orangey green here. which I almost have here already, but not quite. A little bit more, a little bit of ultramarine here, just to keep it in check. I think that's it. Yep, that'll do. Okay. Oh. Yeah, maybe a bit darker. Maybe a bit brighter up in here. Yeah, it's not dark enough. I'm just going to scumble it on too. It'll help with the scumbling. Really helps leave behind a good amount of the underpainting. Okay. All right, let me just continue here. Now let's put in some very obvious reds in this thing here. Just too much on the brush. Okay. All right. Nice warm painting. I do like these sunsetty warm paintings. I think they can set things off, you know, gets you in a good mood when you're standing looking at it. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, just bringing this, just shaping this landscape a little bit, you know. Just a little bit. Here and there and there and here. Working it and trying to create all the differences that you see in a landscape. Okay, let me see. Let me stand back here and give this a moment to grow in my head. Now, this area here needs fixed up. I'm not happy with this. So let's see what where we're here. This is better. You guys get this. I just didn't like how faded it looked. Alright, so now we have ourselves a bit of a landscape. Right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on this area here, around this area here. And I want to I'll show you a wee trick here now in case I forget to do it. See up here, I want there to be a lot of little blades of grass. So I'm just going to flick them in. And this is a wee technique that you can use just to create blades of grass quick. It's very, very effective. And depending on, you can really take it back to the canvas. All this is doing is giving it a bit of a light, top to it. It's quite effective. I really quite like doing that. I occasionally forget to do it, but it is one that I like doing. Now, I want to get back onto this area here. So a nice orangey. And again, I'm more of a scumble than anything else. Just nice and gentle here. Now I want to do the same thing. See, for me, this shows you how handy letting it dry can be. It really can help you come along and just sculpt it to your own. What am I trying to say? What am I talking about? Oh yes, sculpting this. It can help you come along and sculpt it. You're not in any hurry to get it fixed before it dries. So that's a great method. Is to just let it dry and come along. And although a lot of people today are in such a hurry. Yeah, a lot of people today are in such a hurry that you never get time to let it dry. It's unfortunate, isn't it? Right, let's darken this down just a touch. Just over here, and just keeping it all going in the one direction. Okay, not too unhappy about this. Not happy about this though. Gotta make myself happy about it. So I just wiped off a lot of the paint that's on this here. I'm just going to dib and dab this in just to soften the edge, make it look like a proper reflection here. There we go. Now, all right, now I'm going to soften it a little bit with a brush here. And I don't like this edge here at all now, so this here, it just looks like it's not attached, at least to my mind anyway. I'm just going to eliminate this edge, there we go. Now we have a bit of a reflection, so I need to put the sun reflection in here. So I'm going to start off with a warmish tone, if it'll show up here. Okay, and then getting lighter in the epicenter of it here. We'll just excuse me. Let me see now. Just wiping off this brush, and this is a wisp, barely touching this. There we go. Now, just one more wee dab in the center of that. Where's my brush? Just one more wee dab in the center of that. A nice wee white one too, pure white. I should just about do it. Just right there. Boom. There we go. Right, now let's just work on this area over here. Okay. Alright, I'll make sure that this is moving. So a little bit of liquid. Splay out the hairs a little bit and just create some grasses here. Look at that. Easy. Okay. Okay. Now, I want to put in some little trails of water So I think I'll maybe do it with such a thing here. And let's see, right along here, just. Yep. Happy with this now. I'm just going to continue here, creating little moss. There we go. Bringing it down to here, just trying to create the illusion of this moss lying on top of this water. All right. Now let's work on this one over here. I'm going to use slightly, if you can see that that's that's a gradient there from a slightly darker to a slightly lighter one here. So I'm just going to put in a slightly darker moss along here. All right. Now look at this. See this thing? Sometimes I do mean head and honestly, it's off level. So it is. But I'll just bring it in here and I'll just come down here. I'll widen it a little bit just to help. Yeah, that's a bit better. It's strange, you know. So let me see, how do I think about this at the minute? I think I could do with a wee bit more tree in here. Yeah, let's just play about with the trees. Okay. Slightly darker than I had going up into the sun there. Let's just. And a little bit more mineral spirits on it. Just helps it sit on top of the paint here. Now it's a bit too dark. I'm not gonna repeat that, so I'm not. Okay. Right, now I'm just trying to think about this. So what do I think of the tree? What do I think of the tree? Is it dark enough? Is it bright enough? I think this area here, it's because it's still wet. It is a little bit, what's the word? It's a bit sheeny. It's not quite, but I think I'm going to leave it for now. I'll have a wee look at it, but I'm going to put a little bit of grass in here just to sell the effect of grass along here. There we go. Now I think that helps. Now what I might do, what I am going to do, is put a little bit of darkness just in here. That's too dark now. That's just too dark. A little bit in here. There we go. And that should that's too blotchy. Don't like that. No, that's a bit better. Be a bit more selective in how I do it, rather than just throwing it on the way I just did there now. All right. Okay. I think maybe I'm done, folks. It's nice and bright. It has a nice, and let me see what it looks like on the camera. Oh, I clicked away in the wrong thing. Okay, now the camera makes it look too red. So it's too pink or something. Yeah, you see that's a sheen on that there, this area here. Anyway, let me see. Okay, it's close enough. It's not quite there, but it's close enough, at least for the time being. I'll take a photo of it. You'll see it at the end of the end of the video. Right. Oh yes, I'll just remove the tape. I'm beginning to enjoy this little part of it, I have to say. So, thanks for your little suggestion. It's a nice part of it. You get to see the finished product, I suppose, or close enough. And just take these off. Now, a bit up there, and a little bit up there. It's beginning to rip. So let's get this off here. Now these two are coming off at the same time, so I'll be handy. And there we go. It's a little finished painting, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something from it. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.